first of all, just comment how excited are you guys finally to get the season underway?
Yeah, we're extremely excited. I mean, the kids have worked extremely hard to put themselves in a good position to be able to compete, and they've worked hard physically. They've taken a zillion swings. They've been through their throwing routines. They've been through all the fundamentals that we teach time and time again, and now it's time to compete against somebody else. So they're extremely excited.
You guys feel like you've done pretty much all you can do indoors-wise in terms of baseball?
Yeah, from an inside, from practicing inside for most of the time, and not on your practice field, you actually, the way our system's set up is that we just knock off as many things that could possibly happen in the game in practice. And that's one of the things for a coach is you got to put the kids through repetition, and hopefully good repetition, so that when they in the game it just becomes a positive reaction.
You guys, your motto this year is flip it. In order to do that, you don't necessarily need, although I'm sure you'd like to have some guys have breakout years. For a lot of guys, you're just kind of looking for a bounce back year to return to the success that they've proven they can have at the varsity level. Is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely right. We have some guys who have the potential to put together some pretty good numbers in a season, and but overall, what we need is guys to just play up to their potential. I think any coach would tell you if you have a good squad, a squad that's together, they got to play as a team, and they just not worry about the other guy. Take care of your business, and then encourage your teammate. And basically, I think if the guys take care of their own house, overall, collectively, it could be pretty good.
Now, on the mound, Brendan Sinnery gets the calls, the Friday guy this year. What do you like about him, and how much more do you think he's capable of now that he's gone into a season preparing and knowing he's going to be a starter?
Yeah, well, I think Brandon's had a good career for us thus far. He really came on strong last season, and I think he's mature. I think he's competitive. I think he wants desperately to be able to play at the next level, and so I think he has something to prove. And I feel very confident giving him the ball, certainly against Pittsburgh, or quite honestly any opponent that we face. We have a lot of confidence in Brandon, and we expect big things from him.
Talk about the rest of the pitching rotation, basically, kind of how it shakes out, and if you feel like you've got things solidified in that regard.
Well, I think there's some things to be determined later, because we still have some guys that are returning from injuries. That'll be a little later in the month. So we'll be without Colby Wood, Travis Smith, and Kevin Van Galloway right now. Three important pieces of our puzzle. But for right now, Bobby Brosnahan's been one of the better pitchers in the league 2 years ago. Struggled a bit last year, but has rebounded well thus far through summer league, and then certainly through fall practice and into the winter here. So we expect Bobby to get back to his form and be the pitcher that we know he can be. Third starter right now, Ben Valentine, has been waiting for this opportunity for 3 years now. And so here's his moment. He was an all-star in the summer league that he played in, Northwood Summer League, and now he gets his moment. Kyle Clark won't be starting this week because of a 3-game series, but next week when we have 4, I expect Kyle Clark to start. And Kyle has started some games for us in the past and done pretty well statistically. Last year is very good. Now we're looking at him to build upon that. So I feel like we got 4 pretty good arms right there. And I like Alex Lakatos out of the bullpen. I like Matt Ogden, a freshman, out of the bullpen. So I feel like there's some guys. I like Logan McAnellen. So we've got some guys that I feel like are capable of doing some special things. And then if we can hold the fort down and gain some confidence, and then get a boost from the veterans who are injured when they come back, it could be pretty interesting.
Offensive side of the ball, that was you guys kind of struggled at the plate as a whole last year, but the table setters had good years. Are those guys, Biondi and O'Neill, guys that are going to have to continue to do that, where on nights where maybe you don't have the big hit, where you're able to scratch out runs with those guys at the top?
Yeah, I think absolutely. I think Patrick is capable, in my opinion, of being a 350 hitter, and last year was at 286. So we need Patrick to have the year that he's capable of having. Mike O'Neill had an excellent first season as a freshman, but there's more in the tank there. He's a special talent, and we expect big things from him. But I like this freshman we got, a couple freshmen, Will Drake and Kevin White will platoon in left. One brings speed, the other one brings power. It should be interesting having those guys in the lineup. And then you got Coley Crank's been a very successful hitter for us. He really came on in the second half last year after struggling in the first half, and I really think he's in a place to build upon that and really have a bang-out year for us. John Lorenz, 2 years ago, had an excellent season and then kind of struggled a little last year. So I think there's plenty of players who are capable of doing some things, and I think they're hungry to do them, and I expect that they will this year.
Do you feel like all the battles are won in terms of starting spots on the infield and outfield? And is there anything that could kind of shake out here in the preseason? Because obviously the Big Ten season is what you're really aiming at. So are there still some things that you're kind of looking to see here in this Big East Challenge and other preseason games?
Well, I think all the games prior to the Big Ten will certainly tell some kind of a story, and certainly jobs can be won or lost. Going into it, we feel comfortable with the guys that we have going in at all positions. On the flip side of it is I think there's always to be determined. I mean, there's always someone who's going to rise up and take the bull by the horn and outplay somebody else, and that person deserves to get the opportunity, then they will. So I don't think anyone can sit back and rest on their laurels. I think they got to go out and compete and perform, and as they do that, then they earn time. But I think we have many more options than we did last year. And I feel like I think mentally the team's in a really good place, and I'm excited to compete against somebody. I just want to play somebody, kind of see where we're at, then we'll evaluate and we'll get better.
One last question. Given what you went through last year, you've talked about the team's focus here in the season or the preseason leading up here. Just kind of comment on that, how much more determined and focused they are this year so that they don't go through what they went through last year and that you're able to flip it.
Yeah, I think they've been focused. I think every year, quite honestly, we've been focused. Truth of the matter is we got hit by a little bit of a bombshell. But with that all being said, yeah, their focus is tighter probably because they got something to prove. When you got a chip on your shoulder, they were hurt last year. They were hurting. And so they're fighting back. And I'm excited to watch them compete. And I expect them to perform very well.